media workshop presentation. I kind of structured it a bit as a workshop, so I want it to be decently collaborative. So if you have any questions during, just raise your hand. Don't be afraid to stop me. I did pack this with a lot of information, and I may have went a little too advanced. So if anything goes over your head, I can kind of slow it down and explain it to you a little bit more in depth. I hope this clicker works. That's the only thing. There we go. Okay, so hi, I'm Maddie. I am the founder of Mad Social Agency. Mad Social Agency is a digital marketing agency based in Manitoba. I personally live in Niverville, so I'm just 15 minutes away from here, but majority of our team of 17 is based in Winnipeg, and we're all online, an online company. We do everything from social media management, which is my personal specialty and my favorite thing, from websites, branding, softwares. We're building some AI projects right now. We do graphic design, newsletters, strategy, kind of anything that you need, and we work in all industries. Oh,
keep going.
Okay, thank you. We work in all industries, from local pizza shops to Calm Air is our client, and corporate companies like that. So I'll get right into it. A bit more of my background. Mad started 3.5 years ago. Previous to that, I owned a clothing brand at 16 years old called Social Clothing. And even before that, at 13 years old, I was designing clothes for a national brand called Triple Flip. So at a very early age, I was introduced into the corporate world to some extent of design and marketing and all that. And then my own social profiles are, you've probably seen me on LinkedIn or TikTok or something somewhere. Oh, please work. There we go, okay. So why social? Social is essential for connecting with your target audience, and Salesforce found that 80% of marketers say it's essential for businesses. And so I started my business during COVID, and I think that COVID, every single business owner recognized how essential social media was, because everybody was addicted to their phones and looking down, and nobody had anything else to do. And I feel like that's just kind of translated into now also. My screen time is easily, I don't even know, like 10 hours a day. It's really bad, but that's because I'm working, I'm not scrolling on TikTok. I don't know what your screen times are, but I'm sure they're bad too. Anyway, social media, everybody looks at it as, oh, it's a great way to promote my business and to sell and to showcase my products and my service, but it's also good for recruiting the right people. It's good for brand awareness. It's good for if you're looking to sell your business in the future. It's a huge asset to a company looking to buy your business if you have a large follower count and if you have a large audience. So there's many more benefits to it aside from just selling. On the recruitment note, I just want to touch on that briefly. I've never had to put out really a post looking to hire, just because people look at my page, they look at my personal profile, and they see our company and our ethics and our values, and they're like, oh, this looks like a really cool company to work for. And they reach out to me via DM, they apply via the website. So it's a great tool to recruit the right people and find the people that align with your values right away. Oh, right, I have to click on this. I apologize in advance for this being so slow. Yeah, maybe you want to maybe you should just do that because this isn't working. Thank you. Who here runs their own social media for their business? I want to show hands. A few, okay. Who here outsources? I see you laughing because you don't have social media yet. Who here outsources their social media for their business? Okay, just a couple. Who here does not have a presence at all for their business? Okay, so a few. I see there's lots of people that didn't put their hands up. So there's a lot of benefits to running your own social compared to outsourcing. If you have no profile at all, I'm really hoping that the second you get home, this is the first thing you do, you set it up. It's free. Social media is free to make an account. I started my social clothing business and Mad just on social media from starting an account and to start posting. I didn't do ads, I didn't do billboards, I didn't pay news outlets, I just started posting and it's completely free. So if you're starting a business or if you have an established business and don't have a presence on social media, start an account. It doesn't cost any money, it just costs a little bit of your time. You can go to the next slide. And then I wanted to know, what's your biggest struggle with social media? Content, okay. Algorithm, figuring out good and bad content. What do you do? What do you post? Okay, anyone else? Yeah?
How to understand the analytics, like how to actually read what's working and what's not working.
Okay, she said how to read the analytics, how to understand what's working and what's not working. Getting followers. Okay, good, we got a good list here. I feel like I tried to cover all of that in here, so that's actually perfect. We have a great list. Okay, awesome. So these are the biggest questions that I hear, the biggest struggles that I hear from people. So keeping up with algorithm changes, huge. Algorithm is always changing. Just keeping up with the algorithm alone is a full-time job. A way that I like to keep up with algorithm changes, Later.com, it's an auto-posting kind of platform. They have a fantastic blog, and they are always updating their blog. They also have a newsletter, so I would recommend subscribing to Later, and then you're always going to be updated on the newest trends.
How do you spell that? Is it just
Later.
Okay.
Yeah, just Later. And then creating engaging content. So with the vast amount of content out there, you want to make sure you're creating engaging content, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. And I'll talk a bit more about this kind of in the presentation. Measuring return on investment. This I'll just touch on now. I didn't bring it up in the slideshow, but a lot of people go into social media thinking, oh, I need to calculate the ROI. Why am I going to hire somebody if I'm not going to get the ROI on social media that I will get on ads? Social media is a funnel, or a stream of your main marketing river. So you can't just do social media and expect to get a bunch of sales. It's a part of your river. It's very top of funnel. You need your ads. You need your sales funnel. You need your scripts. You need way more than only that. You need your brand awareness. Email newsletter marketing. How are you getting people to join your email list? A bunch of things like that. Time and resource constraints. So I hear that's an issue a lot. And then staying up to date with trends. So using that Later.com, even just spending time, and I know this sounds dumb, but spending time on Instagram or TikTok for work purposes of scrolling to find content and to find ideas for yourself. So I like to save content that I think would be interesting to recreate for myself, and then I spend a day every 2 weeks filming all of my content, editing all of my content, and batching it up. So that's kind of how I stay up on trends. We can go to the next one. Oh, perfect. You're already. Oh, you're way past me. Which social media channels should I use? This is a question I get a lot. Okay, now you can. So there's a bunch of social media channels. I think a lot of people just go on Facebook. Which channels are you guys on currently? Are you exploring other things? Just Instagram, Facebook? Who here's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn mainly? Okay, perfect. So Instagram and Facebook, I say, are the must-haves. If you have Facebook, set up an Instagram, because if you post on Instagram, it'll auto-post to Facebook. If you're just using Instagram and Facebook for your business, utilize Meta Suite to auto-post all of your content, because I can guarantee if you're running your own social, you probably don't have time to think about posting all the time, and you don't want to think about posting all the time. Meta Suite is Facebook's in-house tool for auto-posting, and it's completely free, whereas other tools are paid for. So if you're just doing those two, that's what I recommend. TikTok. If you are posting video content on Instagram and Facebook, and you're investing in good content on Instagram and Facebook, I would recommend getting TikTok as well, downloading that, starting an account, repost all of your videos on Instagram and Facebook onto TikTok. There is no harm in doing this at all. Big misconception is that, oh, well, it's only young people are on TikTok. No, only young people post on TikTok. My dad is on TikTok scrolling more than I am. He just has a blank account. My 80-year-old papa is on TikTok. He's liking my posts all the time. He just has a blank account. And so there's a huge misconception. Why I would stress that if you're doing video content already to just post on TikTok is because TikTok, aside from YouTube, TikTok has the best SEO out of any social media platform. So SEO meaning keywords, search engine optimization. So if you're putting the keywords Winnipeg local restaurant in it, the chances of it getting found are way higher than an Instagram post doing Winnipeg local restaurant, because a lot of people use TikTok as a search engine. I know personally that if I want to go out with friends on the weekend, I will often search on TikTok Winnipeg bars instead of going on Google, just because I can see the aesthetic and I can see the vibe and I can see people who've gone there and creators I like. X, formerly Twitter, is good for real-time updates. Anybody in more of a mortgage industry would be good. Politics would be good. Again, you can cross-post stuff over to X. There's no harm in that. I personally don't use it very often, but ads on there are extremely cheap right now as Elon Musk is trying to kind of amp that up. Pinterest, I recommend Pinterest for anybody who's in a very visual field. So home building, design, interior design, anybody who's doing a lot of blogs on your website, posting graphics of those blogs onto Pinterest and linking it to your website will help drive traffic to your website. So a good example is I do social for a pet health company. It's called Best Life for Pets. It's like mainly a US-based company, and they're always posting blogs on tips for how to keep your pets healthy and very specific niche things though. And so we'll post on TikTok in hopes to drive people to the blog, which drives people to the products, and the blog will kind of convince them to buy in a way and convince them that they need this product. So funnels like that. And then LinkedIn. A lot of businesses will go on LinkedIn and they won't post. Definitely post. I like to use LinkedIn as a recruitment tool primarily, so I like to talk about my brand values. I like to talk what we're doing about internally or storytelling about the brand. I run my business a way different way than most agencies will or most businesses will, a very untraditional way. That's another presentation though, so I won't talk about that. But the biggest thing about LinkedIn is your personal brand. My personal brand on LinkedIn has helped drive so much business to my company, and this can be for any business. So I personally post 5 times a week on LinkedIn. That's definitely maybe a little overkill, but I'm just trying to get out there as much as possible. And it doesn't have to be you just showcasing business and random things about the company. It can be storytelling, how you started your company, what you've been doing lately that's interesting, giving some interesting market insights. Next slide. Next slide. So post everything everywhere. My biggest thing of advice when people come to me and they're like, Maddie, I don't know what profile or what platforms I should be on. Everything. It costs you no money to post your content everywhere else. If you want to be extremely strategic, yes, you should be having different content on TikTok compared to LinkedIn. But if you're having a bunch of content planned out for Instagram, you should just repost it onto every other platform because you don't know what is going to work on which platform. Next slide. I'm going to just take a sip of water. So that being said, posting everything everywhere does take time to go into the platform and actually post all that. So these are my top 3 favorite auto posting platforms. I personally use Loomly for my own profiles. It's really nice because you just upload your content, you click all of the platforms you want it to go to, and it goes out there. You can do different captions, different images for each. Later is really good too. I've used Later a bunch. Sprout Social's another one. Sprout Social's really good if you're a super analytical person. They gave very in-depth analytics. That being said, it is a little bit more expensive, and I found that it's hard to learn, personally. Loomly has just been really user-friendly for me. If you're doing just Instagram, Facebook though, just use Meta, it's free. However, although auto posting's great, we don't auto post for our clients because it tanks engagement, in my opinion. It's way better if you use the 15-minute rule. 15-minute rule is 15 minutes before you post. You go on, you interact with your audience, going through the feed, commenting on posts, liking posts, following people, then you post. Then 15 minutes after, you're in there doing the same thing. And when you're auto posting, you can't really do that. You're not engaging with your community as much. So that's why our team doesn't auto post for any of our clients. But again, time constraints get in the way. Next one. So I want to go over a bit about understanding your audience and how to turn that into content and content ideas. So I'm going to get into kind of how to really do that. So next. What will connect with your audience? I always like to think of these questions and then I try to make content around these questions for my audience. So what are my leads' common objectives? What are the pain points of my audience? What are my clients always asking? What are the daily challenges my audience has? So an example I always like to use is a pain point for my target audience, which is generally business owners. I don't work with personal brands. Is they don't have time for social media. So if you go on my personal profiles and my Mad social profiles, you'll notice I film a ton of content of me talking about how to save time and how to delegate, the benefits of delegating and time management with social media, because I know it's one of my audience's pain points. It'll connect with them more. They feel like I understand them, therefore they may feel more inclined to reach out. So kind of see how that goes. So what I always like to do an exercise where I just sit down with the team, we break down pain points of kind of leads we've talked to this week or clients and try to figure out, okay, well, how can we resolve this within that, and then also utilize that to create our own content. Why should you make content based on this? You've answered most of their questions already. They feel like you understand your brand and you'll make them feel like they understand you. Next. So how do you turn that into content? Pain point plus hook outline in ChatGPT. This is what I love to use. ChatGPT, it does suck. If you just say, this is my business, give me 10 ideas. It'll tell you the same crap it tells everybody. Oh, do behind the scenes, do call to action. It's crap. It doesn't give you specific ideas. So if you scan this, you'll get a list of 200 hooks that I have that are proven for ads, and you can use them for content as well. So I have like a little screenshot on there. So what I do, oh wait, people are scanning, sorry. Go back. I'll let everybody scan this first. It's a big Google sheet. I'll duck. And it has examples in there too, so. Okay, a few more people are doing it. Worked for you? Yeah? No? Okay, I can send it to, or if you go on my page, just DM me and I'll give it to you. Okay, so next one. These are a couple kind of examples. So then in that Google sheet, I'll copy and paste about 10 to 20 of them. And in ChatGPT, I'll say, this is my business. I give it the website. And I say, take these hook layouts I wrote below, and I just copy and I paste all the ones from the Google Sheets. I do about 20 at a time. And rewrite them to be specific for my brand for social media content. And this is the best way I have found to create really specific content ideas for your brand or business. If you want to go a step further, I tell ChatGPT my audience's pain points, what they're kind of looking for, what common questions I get, and it'll be even more specific. This is great if you're doing a lot of talking head content. That's primarily what I post, so where I'm in front of a camera, I'm talking, telling the story, and it has the captions. I'm sure you've all seen that. But you can also use this for caption ideas if you're doing a post. So if you're an interior designer and there's a common pain point your clients have, you could do a nice like carousel and then a caption with one of these. Next one. That all makes sense. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay, cool. So that being said, diversify your content. Big mistake I see a lot of businesses do is they will either just take photos themselves randomly on a phone and upload it, or maybe they have a massive marketing budget and they're just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hire a videographer to film all of these super extremely intense, beautiful videos. Well, that's great, but that doesn't connect with an audience. When have you seen a high quality video go viral on social media? I can guarantee it's never. So that's why you want to diversify your content with what I call phone natural content. That's just what I call it. So stuff with your phone, more fun, trending content that relates with your audience, mixed with high quality professional content to really showcase your brand and to showcase what you're all about. And it shows that you actually mean business and that you're serious. So having a mix depends on the business, of course. Like, I give different advice to everybody. For a general rule of thumb, this is what works the best. And then another way to get content ideas, this is my mortgage broker client, Vince Gaetano. He's based out of Toronto. Every Thursday, he does a live show on Instagram. So every Tuesday, we put out a story and we say, do you have any questions for our live show? And we always get a ton of questions, and then we turn those questions that his audience has into content. So if you don't know what to post on social media, the best place to go is to ask your audience. Just simply do a story and be like, what type of content would you like to see from me? And I can guarantee you'll get great results of market research of what you should actually be posting. Using keywords in your content, I touched on this a little bit when I talked about TikTok. You can go to the next one. So keywords act as the bridge between what your audience is searching for and the content you provide. SEO on social media is very similar to a website. So I'm sure you're all very familiar with how website SEO works. It is super similar on social media, and I don't think people recognize that it's actually a thing and that it's actually important. Just like how you want to include keywords on your website, it's the exact same thing with your content and your hashtags. So like I was giving that Winnipeg local restaurant example before, it goes the same for any sort of industry. I love using local words. So, and local hashtags, hashtag Winnipeg local, hashtag Manitoba. I'm sure you all follow hashtags like that. I know I follow hashtag Winnipeg business personally, and I just find those are the most effective for reach. And then also with any post I'll even do, I'll try and work in the keyword of Winnipeg marketing agency, Winnipeg social media all the time, just because I find people are searching up locations more than just general words. And being the more niche, the better. So you can do that in your content, in your videos, and then also utilizing it in your profile name. So this is my client, Cam. I don't know why I used all mortgage brokers in this. But so in his name, we have his name, and then we have dash mortgage advisor, because it's more likely to pop up in the search if people are specifically searching mortgage advisor. So if you do home renovations, you could do your business name dash home renovations, and if somebody's searching up for home renovations online, it's more likely to pop up. So just little things like that also, changing your bio to include that. And then trending keywords for hashtags especially. You can use tools like Hashtagify on Google, or ChatGPT is great. You can ask ChatGPT to search up the most trending hashtags right now, and it'll spit out the most trending hashtags for your niche. So that's great. That's what I use. Works perfect. Next one. Keywords and video. Yeah, I kind of talked about this. But then think about what your audience is searching for. So especially on YouTube, when I post a video, I'm thinking, okay, what's my audience searching for that they will actually want to come across this video? So if I'm talking about how to come up with video hooks, maybe I'll title my video, How to Come Up with Social Media Hooks. And I'm sure lots of people go on YouTube and search for that, and I'm more likely to come up on there, opposed from me just saying, Mad Social Agency content hooks. That's probably not as searchable as doing a question. So I like to format it as a question. Transcripts and captions. Whenever you're doing a video that has any sort of talking in it, always use captions. I still see so many people posting stories of them talking, or videos of them talking, or trending sounds, and there's no words on the screen. The words help with SEO, and 70% of people go on their phone and scroll with no sound on. I'm sure a lot of you go on your phone in public and you are not going to have full blast TikTok trending sounds on your phone for everybody to hear. So that's why that's why captions and transcripts are super important in your videos. So people aren't just gonna scroll past them because there's no captions. They'll actually still watch them if the hook is interesting enough. So now I'm gonna go through some key few strategies. These two are maybe a little more like intense, I guess, a little more advanced, but we could try. Okay. You can go to the next one. So this is the meme strategy. This is how I helped my client O'Neill at No Limits Training gain 6,000 followers consistently every single month. Yes, we did spend $12,000 a month doing this, but it's still a good strategy to look at on a smaller scale for any sort of business. So a little background on O'Neill. No Limits Training is an online fitness training platform, and their niche is middle-aged moms, and they only go after that and help that, and he does a great job at doing it. So the meme strategy is basically where we are going on TikTok and we are finding viral posts that connect with moms. So maybe that's a kid throwing a tantrum and it's like a funny video out of it, or something else relatable to moms, something about like cooking or whatever. There was a really viral video recently where a kid shot his mom with a Nerf gun when she was painting, and then she fell backwards and the paint went all over her, and it had like 30 million views on TikTok. So we'll go on TikTok, search up moms of TikTok, for example, find a viral video, usually over 10 million views, download that video. I download the video with no watermark. I use something called a snap tick. If you go on Google and search TikTok download or no watermark, it'll come up. Then what we do is we repost that video on his page. And why we do this is because if it was already a trending video on TikTok, it will most likely do really well on his account as well. And all we have to do is we just give them credit. And I swear we've never gotten under 10,000 views doing this. We usually got 200,000 views doing this. So we did this 2 times a week consistently for the past year and a half, and when I started with him, he was at 12,000 followers. Now he's at like 160,000 or something. So that's a great strategy. That costs $0. The next one costs a lot of money. But that's a great way where in any industry you can do that. I'll even do that where my audience is business owners. I will find trending funny videos that relate to business owners. I'll repost that, and it usually does way better than my talking head videos. And it takes me no effort at all. I'm just stealing somebody else's content. The second one, the meme strategy of, okay, do you guys follow meme pages? Do you know what meme pages are, first of all? Yeah, some of you do. Okay, so we would find mom meme pages, and we would approach them and DM them and be like, hey, how much would it cost for a promo? Now everybody knows about influencer marketing, paying influencers to either go to your restaurant or promote your product. Influencers are stupid expensive. They will charge you like $600 for a post if they have 5,000 followers. It's absolutely ridiculous. Meme pages are usually run by people overseas who just will sell it for literally nothing because they just have a bunch of meme pages and that's what they do for work. So usually costs $20 to $100 to reach an audience of 500,000 plus people, because these meme pages have a lot of followers. So we ask them their demographics, we ask them their price. If it's like $30, we're like, yeah, this is good, let's test it out. We send them our content, so we would kind of test out either sending a viral post or sending like something of O'Neill, maybe more service-based. With the caption, they would post it, and we would get a ton of followers and a ton of return. And this did so good that from when I started working with him, the budget was $1,000 a month, and we upped it to $12,000 a month just because he saw the return that fast of getting those followers, then he would DM those followers, then he would get on a lead call and make a sale. I wasn't a part of the sales process, but I was a part of getting those leads in. So that's another good strategy too, if you kind of want to think outside of the box of just posting, and even further outside of the box of influencer marketing, using other pages with huge reach. Recycling high-performing posts. So if you don't know what to post, you can always reuse your old posts. Nobody's gonna notice. I do this all of the time. Every 4 to 6 months, I'll look back and I'll see, okay, this video of me did really good. I just completely repost it. Nobody's going to know. If it already did well, why not just repost it? Because nobody's gonna know the difference and it's already proven to do good. Or recreate it. You don't always need new ideas. You can just keep reposting your old content and it'll still pay off. Analytics and reporting. Okay, now you can go. I did like title slides, I don't know why, that just made this more difficult. This is what I like to focus on when it comes to analytics. For brand growth and awareness, if that is your goal, I track the number of followers gained over specific periods of time to see how effective the content was in getting new followers. And so you can do this maybe bi-monthly, so every 2 months you kind of test out different kinds of content, see how many followers you get. For sales, I monitor saves and shares. I get a lot of business owners coming to me and they're like, oh, well, obviously getting DMs is sales. Well, no, it's not, because a lot of people will just click on your website and still contact you there. Social media is more about the rule of 7 and getting people to know who you are, and then when they're ready to buy, they'll contact you. So I like to focus on saves and shares. Saves, because it means somebody found your content valuable enough to save it and look back at it later. Good example is I always use restaurants just because it's so easy to like make everybody understand it. I have a saved folder in my Instagram of restaurants I want to go to. So if I see a cool restaurant in Instagram, I save it because I want to go back and I want to go and eat there. Shares, because somebody found your content or your brand or your product valuable, cool enough, interesting enough to send to somebody else. I'm sure you all share posts with your friends and family all the time because you either found it funny, interesting, it's an event you want to go to. So if I'm sharing a product that I think is cool to my friend, that's a good stat to look at because it means people are finding your product really cool and really interesting. For virality, I focus on shares. If it's more of a funny post, then I focus on views, of course. I think shares are a better stat to look at. For engaged customers, likes are a quick measurement of engagement. I mean, engagement for likes is going down exponentially on all platforms for all businesses right now. So I don't like to focus on likes still. And then for sales via story CTAs, that would be direct messages. What I mean by story CTAs is call to actions in your stories. So putting your sales in your stories, click the link, click this link for more information, click this link to get my free ebook. I like to do that on stories opposed from main posts because nobody wants to be sold on social media. So I like to track that in terms of just direct messages, and then it'll tell you your link clicks. Next one. I need some water. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I would digest this, basically. So on here, it shows that 203,000 people who viewed this video are non-followers, and it shows 3,400 people who viewed this video are current followers. What that tells me is that this video was on the For You page or the Explore page, and that we are gaining a new audience and gaining new brand awareness. So then because that's all non-followers, I want to look at how many people actually followed me in that block of time and see, okay, is this actually converting into followers? And then impressions is just how many people viewed it in general. Then I always like to look at, when I'm looking at videos, watch time. So this is a viral video on my personal profile. I was looking at it was a video of me looking at a Porsche, and it said, It was something about how all I need to be happy is like a Porsche or something, and I was like pointing at a Porsche and people loved it. And so it did really well. So then what I like to do is that repost strategy. Maybe in 4 to 6 months I'll repost it. I always do this on my mortgage client's account. So I go in here and I'm like, okay, 100% of people stayed until 3%, or 3 seconds, but at the 3-second mark, there was a bunch of drop off, and then maybe it was like 40%. This is still a really good number, by the way. Most are at like 0 by the end. So then maybe I'll go back and I'll re-edit the video, or I'll remake the video so that in this 3-second mark, whatever happened, it's not there. And so what actually did happen in this video is, by this time, everybody read the words on the screen, but the Porsche still wasn't in the video. So then I know, okay, I need to get the Porsche in the video quicker because I didn't write enough words. And so that's kind of how I digest it and look at that and be like, okay, this is what I can do better next time. Look at it that way. So I don't know how much that answers like the analytics questions, but it's what I like to focus on. It's more of a psychological approach opposed from a traditional social approach. And then I have questions.
So you started the business during COVID?
Yeah.
Okay, so how were you actually reaching out to business owners when they're losing customers?
Yes.
Kind of lowering sales?
Okay, so usually I go on a big tangent about how I, sorry. So she's saying, so I started during COVID, and how did I reach customers during COVID, and how did I grow my business, basically? So this is an interesting story, and I usually go through this at the beginning, but this time I didn't. I started my business in a day. It used to be called Spark Media. I was doing social media for the only job I've ever had in my life was working at a dollar store part-time, by the way. My background's actually in architecture school aside from that. So I was working at my dollar store part-time, and my manager wanted me to run their social media for free because I have a very large TikTok following, and I love social media, obviously, and I ran businesses before that. So I did their social media for free. They kind of treated me like crap, was a really bad situation. So I decided in a day, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get my own clients. So I started a social media account. Again, starting a social media account is free. I called it, I searched on Google, cool words, and the word Spark came up. And I was like, oh, that'll make a great business name. So I called it Spark Media and started this profile. And I just started posting, and I don't know if you guys know what like social media management costs, but I posted $80 per month for social media management. We start at $800 a month now, so very big difference. But I posted $80 a month social media management, and I went in and I followed every local person possible. So I've lived in Niverville pretty much my whole life. I know all the business owners. I went through and I followed everybody. And Nick and Nikki, who own DQ Niverville, they reached out and they're like, oh, I'd love to have a meeting with you to see if you want to run our 3 franchise locations. And this was in the first 3 days, by the way. And so I go there in the meeting. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no systems. I didn't even know how to plan out social media. I had no business plan. I just jumped in and do it. That's my biggest philosophy. And so I sit in that meeting. It was like a 20-minute meeting. I closed it somehow. They just let this kid run their social for super cheap. And continuously from there, just learned, kept getting accounts, kept posting on social media organically. I've never spent money on ads for myself in my life, actually. It's all organic social and then through my personal brand. So I grew it from very cheap pricing and growing my portfolio. Yeah. Now I do I think my biggest client is $4,000 a month. So I went from $80 to that. So yeah, big difference. I think you had a question? Yes.
So your strategy on finding a video that's viral, downloading it and removing the watermark,
Yeah.
you reposted the attribution of source. Maybe explain how you do that, or what's the proper protocol for that?
Sure. So just to reiterate that, he's talking about the strategy where I'm downloading an already viral video to repost it on another account and the protocol for giving credit for it. So for the removing the watermark, I like to remove the watermark just because I find when I post something with a watermark from TikTok onto Instagram, it doesn't do as well, and people will just scroll past it because they know it's not yours right away. So that's why I remove the watermark when I download it. When I'm reposting it, the protocol that I do is in the caption, I write credit at, and then if I can't find their Instagram, I do TT for TikTok, and then I write their username. And we've never had anybody be mad about it. And the reason is because it's free promotion for them as well. So if you were an influencer and somebody kind of stole your video but still gave you credit, well, they're kind of just giving you free promotion in a way. So that's why I've never had anybody be mad about it. Yeah. If you're more of a corporate company though, then like obviously you may want to actually reach out to them and be like, hey, I really love this video. Can we share it? For Calm Air, our client, that's what we do, just because they're a big corporation, more procedures that way, so we actually get consent.
Maddie, could you share with me your opinion on the importance of likes and follows on any social media platform, how it has to do with SEO, and when you're selling an ice cream cone in comparison to an assisted living place?
Okay. Likes and follows in comparison to an ice cream cone and an assisted. It was funny because I just signed an assisted living place the other day. Likes and follows. I don't like to focus on likes and follows. I like to focus on shares and saves, but it depends on their goals. So the first thing I always do in a discovery call is I ask them what their goals are. Is it to grow the business? Is it to sell the business? Is it to like build up your brand awareness? So that's why I kind of like to focus more on their goals. I don't know if that probably doesn't really answer your question, but it's really hard to say. What I could say is in terms of like ads, this is a good way of determining what's better for your business. I'll use the example of a candle company compared to a marketing company. If you're deciding where to focus on in terms of energy and spend, a candle company is a very like smaller product, smaller like price point product. Most likely somebody will come across it on Instagram and decide to buy. They're not searching on Google candles. Whereas a marketing agency or anything of higher value or most likely a service, they won't buy it on social media. They'll most likely search it on Google. So that's kind of like something, but for follows and likes, like it's more goal driven. Yeah, I know that's not a great solid answer, but yeah.
So you just said that you don't like likes and follows over shares and saves.
Yeah.
Do the likes and follows not give you the people seeing your content versus if they just like and save and not follow, you hope they go back into their saved files to go back and look at?
Yeah.
Why do you prefer not the likes and follows versus shares and saves?
I prefer that because it shows that I'm giving value to my audience. If you want sales, then like maybe focus on follows. I personally watch my boyfriend go on Instagram and TikTok, and he's just scrolling and liking everything. So that's why I don't see likes as a really good metric, where saves and shares kind of has more thought behind it, where, oh yeah, I'm gonna share this to my dad because I think he'll really like it, where likes is kind of you're just liking. Followers are very important for growing your brand and growing your business. It just depends on the stage you're at. If you're a company with only 200 followers, your focus should be on followers. It should not be on likes and saves. If you're at a stage like me where I'm at like 20,000 followers on Instagram, I'm focusing more on saves and shares just because I have an audience that I now just want to nurture so that they want to contact me.
So then to follow up with that, at what point is it good to start working on shares and saves versus followers? How many would you want to see your company at?
Maybe like 3,000 followers, 4,000 followers, I'd say. Yeah, it depends how comfortable you are with your content and your audience as well. If you're trying to grow like a huge company, then maybe you just want to focus more on getting those followers to a higher stage. But yeah, that's typically what I'd say. Yeah. Because even at 3,000-4,000 followers, your engagement's still like really low. Because platforms aren't showing everybody as much of your content as much anymore. They're just kind of showing already viral stuff to people. It's changed a lot, where Instagram used to just show it all in chronological order, who you followed posted. So it's way harder. Yeah.
So your advice is to follow people that you're hoping will be your potential customers?
Yes.
And then tell me what you do. Like you post on their content?
Okay. So her question was, you basically want to follow people who will be your potential customers. Then she's kind of asking, what do I do? This is what I love to do, and I do this for all my clients. It's a little bit sneaky, but I will go on my competitors' accounts or any other businesses that have a similar audience to me, and I go through the people liking their posts, and I follow all of those people. I used to follow the followers, but I changed my strategy because following the followers are just people following the account. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're engaging with the account. So that's why sometimes I mix it up, but I typically go into the posts and follow the people commenting and liking. An example, if I'm an interior designer in Winnipeg, maybe I'll go on another interior designer's account and I'll follow their whole audience, because if these people are already interested in interior design, maybe they're looking to hiring one, they'll most likely be interested in my account as well, and so they're more likely to follow and actually buy from me. Yeah, that's what I like to do. A little sneaky, but it works really good. And then everybody's always worried about follower to following ratio. It really doesn't matter. I think too many people are focused on it. So followers is like how many people are following you. Following is how many people you're following. And I have a lot of people come to me that don't want their following count to be more than their followers. It's just like a vanity metric. It really doesn't matter. Yeah.
I guess my question has more to do with if a real estate agent, for example, was starting social media marketing accounts
Yeah.
and they're not getting the type of engagement, likes, follows as an ice cream place or a burger joint.
Yeah.
What advice would you give, and should those real estate agents just starting out, just to use real estate agents as an example?
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to buy a house once every 10 years,
Yeah.
as opposed to go and get ice cream
Yeah.
once a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They shouldn't expect.
They shouldn't expect as many sales from social, but if they're not seeing any engagement, they need to change their content.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of realtors is a great example, because every realtor posts the exact same bull crap, and it is all solds, listings, and home buying tips. When if you're posting videos of yourself, funny videos, engaging videos, showcasing local restaurants, showcasing the community, things to do in different areas, that's more engaging. I still get the realtors that just want listings and solds, and like I'll still do it, but then they'll ask me, oh, why are people not engaging with my account? Well, because you're posting the same crap as everybody else. So that's why. It's usually to do with content, and yeah, doing that. I'm very like blunt with people of what they need to do, by the way, so I say it like it is. Any other questions? Yeah, the link for the QR code thing. Yeah, the QR code one they want. Yeah, there. We can just leave that up there, and then anyone who hasn't scanned it can scan it. But you can also shoot me an email or a message, and then I can get it to you. Okay, cool.
Email?
Yeah, I do lots of email. I do lots of email. Okay, cool. Thank you, everybody. If you want to talk to me after, you can come.